themselves until the arrival of the peloton, and here it approaches now with 33 kilometers to the finish and a long single file line. Apparently the group pretty much intact at this point.
This is one of the long stages, Brian. It's 240 kilometers, and it has a little bit of climbing in the middle, and then towards the end is somewhat flat.
As the camera sweeps up and down this lead group here, we see Ron Kiefel from Colorado competing as part of the 7-Eleven team in the Giro d'Italia, the 68th Giro d'Italia. Ron Kiefel, an outstanding American rider that would appear to have the tools necessary to make himself into a good professional in the European mold. Leading this little breakaway group right now, Ron Kiefel, the American, on the 11th stage of the Giro d'Italia.
As you can see, their group is right on their heels, and it doesn't seem like it's really going to pan out, this breakaway. No, there you got the old group together again.
So we're setting up for what could appear to be another one of those mad dashes to the finish, and we're looking at now what would appear to be a counterattack group with trains on one side, cars on the other, and the riders going down the middle. There's one of the 7-Eleven jerseys at the front of the...
That's Eric, isn't he?
That's Eric Heiden.
That's correct.
And easy to spot because of his size. He's certainly one of the largest bicycle racers anywhere around, physically large.
Eric did quite well in this Giro, by the way, winning the Hot Spots competition.
These are the special sprints along the road. Here's Borjakas, who's also an unusual individual. He's Colombian, but he's just as blonde as they come, and races with the Colombian team, has competed a number of times in the United States, has earned medals in the Course Classic, and we see him now.
I think that Eric attributed the shape that he rode himself into by riding the Giro for his win at the U.S. Pro Championships. Is that correct?
Very, very much so. I think that the fitness that he gained while he was in Europe is what gave him what he needed to get a very deserving victory. He did not luck into or back into that professional championship victory in Philadelphia. He earned it very definitely. He was in all the right places at the right time. He was in the winning breakaway, and he, by the time he got close to the finish line, was very definitely the most powerful sprinter of the breakaway group. Eric Heiden, we're speaking of course, has really made the transition to a racing cyclist that he began after the 1980 Olympic Games, where he won 5 medals on speed skates.
And there we have Chris Carmichael, another rider from 7-Eleven. I know Chris quite well because he's from South Florida. As a matter of fact, he's right here in Miami. And I remember Chris almost when he started riding. He's a very, very gutsy rider, a good rider, and has proven himself to be quite valuable to the team, the 7-Eleven team, while doing the Giro.
He's another rider who has distinguished himself quite well domestically and has now made a very complete transition to an international professional rider. There's really a legitimate professional class in the United States now. There are riders who have made themselves, have turned pro and have raced in Europe and are also racing in the United States as professionals and have made a legitimate transition to a pro class. And Chris Carmichael is one of those.
It seems like we're pretty close to the finish. Look at the people at the overpass. I mean, there's almost a traffic jam right on top of that overpass, people just stopping to see the riders go by.
Here a little trio of riders has gained maybe 100 yards, 100 meters or so on the rest of the field, and as quickly as we say that, we're left in another one of these mad dash finishes with no clear winner obvious, but
we had Cerrone there, and we had Freuler and Allocchio. Allocchio is